Eduardo "Eddie" Palmieri, born on December 15, 1936, and passing away on August 6, 2025, was a legendary American pianist, bandleader, composer, and musical innovator of Puerto Rican heritage. Throughout his extensive career, he left an indelible mark on the world of Latin music, transforming the salsa and Latin jazz genres with his daring harmonies, genre-blending experiments, and trailblazing approach to rhythm. From his early exposure to jazz in the streets of New York to the international stages he graced, Palmieri's story is one of persistence, talent, and innovation. Early life and musical roots. Born in the South Bronx to Puerto Rican parents Isabel Maldonado Palmieri and Carlos Palmieri, Eddie was raised in a household where music was more than entertainment. It was a way of life. His parents had immigrated from Ponce, Puerto Rico, to New York in 1926. It was in this vibrant, culturally rich environment that Eddie and his older brother, Charlie Palmieri, were born. Eddie's love for music blossomed early, inspired by Charlie's own journey as a pianist. At just 8 years old, Eddie began appearing in talent contests, often accompanying his brother. His formal education in the New York public school system immersed him in the city's thriving jazz scene, and he took piano lessons that honed his budding skills. By age 11, he had already performed at Carnegie Hall, an early sign of his exceptional talent. As a teenager, he drew inspiration from pianists like Thelonious Monk and McCoy Tyner, dreaming of leading his own band. By the time he was 14, he had made that dream a reality. During the 1950s, Palmieri gained experience playing in multiple Latin bands, most notably with Tito Rodriguez Orchestra. This exposure to professional performance and arrangement prepared him for the seismic impact he would later have on Latin music. Career breakthrough and La Perfecta. Palmieri's true breakthrough came in 1961 when he founded his iconic band, Conjunto La Perfecta. Unlike traditional charanga bands that featured violins, Palmieri replaced them with 2 trombones, creating a heavier, more resonant sound that became a hallmark of his musical identity. With vocalist Ismael Quintana and an ensemble of outstanding musicians, including Barry Rogers on trombone, Bob Bianco on guitar, and percussionists Manny Oquendo and Tommy Lopez, La Perfecta carved out a fresh and exhilarating sound in the world of Latin music. His music wasn't just danceable, it was daring. He infused jazz elements into salsa, utilizing extended solos and intricate harmonies influenced by jazz legends like McCoy Tyner. Palmieri and Rogers explored complex harmonic structures inspired by the teachings of Joseph Schillinger, pushing Latin music beyond traditional boundaries. Hits like Lo Que Traigo Es Sabroso and Mozambique showcased his experimental use of Cuban rhythms, specifically the energetic Mozambique style, which added further dimension to his music. Though internal tensions led to La Perfecta's disbanding in 1968, Palmieri soon reformed the group with a new roster, including trumpet legend Alfredo "Chocolate" Armenteros and conguero Iladio Perez, continuing to evolve his sound. Grammy success and continued innovation. Palmieri's work in the 1970s brought him mainstream recognition. In 1975, he made history by winning the very first Grammy Award for Best Latin Recording with the Son of Latin Music. That same decade, he released Vámonos Pa'l Monte with his brother Charlie on organ, another standout piece in his career. Palmieri's influence wasn't limited to salsa. He bridged the worlds of Latin jazz and Afro-Cuban music, constantly reimagining how rhythm and harmony could intersect. Throughout the 1980s, he reunited with familiar collaborators like Ismael Quintana and Chio Feliciano. Albums such as Palo Parumba, Solido, and La Verdad earned him additional Grammys and solidified his role as a titan in Latin music. The sudden death of his brother Charlie in 1988 was a major personal blow, but Eddie pressed on, dedicating future performances to others' memory, including a moving big band tribute at Lincoln Center in 2004, expanding his legacy. During the 1990s, Palmieri remained highly active, working with prominent artists and contributing to major Latin music movements. He helped launch the career of singer La India with the 1992 album Lego La India via Eddie Palmieri, introducing her powerful voice to a global audience. He continued to innovate into the new millennium. Though he announced a temporary retirement in 2000, his creative spirit didn't fade. That same year, he collaborated with Tito Puente on masterpiece Obra Maestra, a Grammy-winning album that brought two legends together for one final show of brilliance. His 2006 collaboration with trumpeter Brian Lynch, Simpatico, was another career highlight. This project earned yet another Grammy and featured an impressive lineup of jazz artists such as Phil Woods, Giovanni Hidalgo, and Yasvani Terry. The album was praised for blending traditional Latin sounds with the complexity of modern jazz. Beyond his studio work, Palmieri continued to perform worldwide, appearing in tributes, festivals, and even film. In 2022, he appeared in Santos Skin to Skin, a documentary celebrating the cultural significance of drumming in Latin music. He also contributed to the soundtrack of Doin' It in the Park, a film exploring New York City's pickup basketball culture. La Perfecta 2 and ongoing recognition. Always reinventing himself, Palmieri launched La Perfecta 2 in the early 2000s, a new version of his original band that continued his legacy with fresh energy. Albums like La Perfecta 2 and Ritmo Caliente reintroduced his signature trombone-heavy sound to new generations of fans. In 2005, Palmieri celebrated 5 decades in music with a major tribute concert in Puerto Rico, featuring stars like Chio Feliciano and Lalo Rodriguez. His achievements were also recognized academically when Berklee College of Music awarded him an honorary doctorate in 1998, honoring his impact on the global music landscape. Personal life. Though Eddie Palmieri's public life was rooted in his music, he also enjoyed a close-knit personal life. Known for his humility and humor, Palmieri maintained a strong connection to his Puerto Rican heritage and family values. He was married and had children, and often spoke of his family as his grounding force amid a demanding career. His relationships with fellow musicians, especially his brother Charlie, were deeply meaningful and influenced much of his emotional expression through music. In his later years, Palmieri settled in New Jersey, where he continued to compose, reflect on his career, and occasionally perform. Despite his age, he remained mentally sharp and musically curious well into his 80s, often mentoring younger musicians and championing the importance of preserving Afro-Caribbean traditions in modern music. Death and legacy. On August 6, 2025, Palmieri passed away peacefully at his home in New Jersey at the age of 88. His death marked the end of a monumental era in Latin music, but his legacy lives on in countless recordings, the generations of musicians he mentored, and the enduring impact of his sound. With over 50 albums, numerous honors, and 9 Grammy awards to his name, Eddie Palmieri's influence remains a cornerstone of Latin jazz and salsa history. Net worth. At the time of his death, Eddie Palmieri's estimated net worth was around $5 million. His wealth was accumulated through decades of album sales, live performances, music production, and royalties. While he never chased commercial fame, Palmieri's genius earned him a devoted following, consistent bookings, and steady recognition that translated into a comfortable and respectable financial legacy. Eddie Palmieri's life was a journey of musical transformation and cultural pride. He took the rhythms of his heritage, the structure of classical music, and the daring spirit of jazz, and fused them into something entirely his own. More than just a pianist or bandleader, he was a visionary who reshaped the sound of Latin music forever. Thank you for watching. Share, and kindly subscribe for more videos like this.